Let us understand the BJT and try to get more insight into the operation of the BJT by studying its static characteristic. In the case of the BJT, there are two sets of curves. One is called the collector curves. Basically, it is made of the collector side variables, and the other one is called the base curves, and obviously it means that the variables involved are the base side variables. So let me first draw this test circuit which will be used for obtaining the collector curves. So I have here a voltage source, a DC, VC, we will call it, and then there is this resistor. Resistor is connected to the collector pin, and we have an NPN BJT here, and the emitter pin is connected to ground. Then there is this base pin, and to the base pin we are connecting a resistance. And on the other side of the resistor we are going to connect it to another DC voltage source. We will call this as VB, and then we will call this a VC. Observe that I have used lowercase for both VB and VC, meaning that they are variables. We would want to vary the DC source here, and we also want to vary the DC source VC to obtain the collector curves. And let us also define the parameters here. So here this resistance we will call it as RB, and we call this as RC. So this is the collector resistance and this is the base resistance. The voltage across the base and the emitter terminal is VBE. This is positive end and this is the negative end. There is a base current that is being injected into the base terminal. As a result, there is a collector current that will flow, and there is a voltage across the collector and the emitter of the BJT, and we will denote it by VCE, and plus is collector and minus the emitter. And we will also define the beta. There is a beta, and let's say we give a value 100. We take a transistor which is having a beta or HFE value of 100. So this is the setup. So in this setup we need to get this collector curves. So we will have the X and Y axis graph. The X axis will be the collector to emitter voltage. This is the voltage axis, it will be the collector to emitter voltage VCE. We will denote it as such. And the Y axis will be the current, collector current IC. So the parameters are related to the collector side variables, and that is why it is called the collector curves. And sometimes in the literature is also called the output characteristic. IC versus VCE. The way we do it is this. We will set the value of VB to some value so that some particular base current gets injected. So what is the value of base current? IB is nothing but VB minus VBE. It is Kirchhoff's voltage law in this loop. VB minus VBE will be the drop across RB divided by RB will give you the IB that is getting injected. So let us say that some IB value of 1 milliamp. I am going to decide the value of VB and RB. VB is basically for silicon. It will be 0.6 or 0.7 volts, and VB value I can vary it, set it to some value, fix the value of RB, then vary VB till I get IB is equal to 1 milliamp. So the moment I have this kind of injection, you will see this kind of a characteristic coming. How will this characteristic come? So you have fixed IB. IB is fixed 1 milliamp which is injected. Now VC is varied from 0. So as you start varying VC from 0 gradually, from 0 to VC max, you will have different points here. Now this points indicates the collector current that is going to flow through it as VC is varied from 0 to VC max. Now that is the plot, and this is that curve at IB is equal to 1 milliamp. So you will see that this is a nonlinear curve. There are two sections. One is this section which is rising fast, and then there is a knee, and then there is almost a constant section here. So if I take a point here, you will see that the IC value here will be beta times IB. This will be 100 milliamps. So all those values will be values corresponding to 100 times IB. And this section I will tell you later. This is what this is having almost a diode type of characteristic because of the base emitter junction here. Now this will be around, let us say, 1 volt. We'll set it at 1 volt. So 1 volt will be the voltage across VCE at this knee point. Now what you do next, you can increase VB, increase this VB and make IB is equal to 2 milliamps. So the moment you have 2 milliamps, you will see this curve which is coming. So when you make IB 2 milliamps, again you make VC 0, and then from 0 you start sweeping it, gradually increase VC to VC max. So you will see this blue curve set of points coming in different values of IC which comes as you sweep VC. And this value, this flat top value here, almost flat top value will be 200 milliamps, which is beta times IB. So like that you can keep changing VB, fix the value of IB, then sweep VC from 0 to VC max, you will get the curves. So let us say you can do that for several such, you will get a family of curve. And I have then set IB to 5 milliamps, and you will see that IC will be 500 milliamps. So this will be the characteristics that you will see, IC versus VCE characteristic for a typical NPN transistor in this fashion. Same will hold good even for PNP transistors, with only the direction of the currents and currents being reversed. Now if you see this portion almost flat top portion, this is representing the region where the relationship IC is equal to beta times IB holds, and that is what we get, and this is the normal active region of operation. But this is not what we want. We want to work here. Why? So in this region you will see that IC values are less for the same value of IB. So IC values are lesser means that IB is greater than IC by beta. IB is greater than IC by beta means that we are in the saturation zone. This zone is the saturation zone, and this is where VC is minimum for the transistor. And for a switch, when it is in the on state, we want VC minimum, which means that we have to pump enough base current to drive it into saturation, and this region we'll call it as the saturation region or the on state region for the transistor. Like this. This where IC is 0 or near 0, and it is able to withstand voltage during the off state. This region at very low IB or IB is equal to 0, this will be the off state. So during the off state, IB will be equal to 0, and that is called the off state region. So in this region, the characteristic, when you make IB is equal to 0, it will be the x-axis itself, and that will be the off state. It will only be withstanding the voltage, no IC current will flow, the off state. So these are the two states of the BJT for being used as a switch, power semiconductor switch. We will not be operating the BJT in this region or the active region. It will only be operated in the saturation region and the off state region. Of course, during transition, when it goes from on to off state, off to on state, the operating point will move through the active region and then it goes into the on state. And while moving from on to off, it will move again back from through the active region back into the off state region, but it will remain in the off state or the on state to be operating as a switch. So this is the collector curves of static characteristic of a BJT, the typical set of collector curves.